Hi everyone, welcome to my short series Play Smarter Not Harder, helping you take full advantage of what Elden Ring has to offer. On this episode we're going to be going over strike damage and posture damage. Most hammer category weapons in the game do strike damage.
What do you need? I don't want any.
Clubs and hammers are typically what they are. You can pick up this club very quickly immediately in the game, if you did not start with it. The large club can be found here, also very quickly in the game. It has very great range. It is also a great here sized hammer. The Morning Star can be found here. The Morning Star also has bleed. The mace can be purchased from the Round Table Hold Maiden Husk. All those hammers are very well rounded. One of my personal favorites is the Great Star's hammer. The Great Star's hammer falls into the great size tier of weapons. It requires a little bit more pony work. You need to get the deck to lift pieces and then head over to this part of Altus. However, if you put in the pony work, the weapon is a free pickup. The Great Star's hammer also has inherent bleed on it, which makes it super useful. Simply going to want to head down to this side of Grace and then head for the chest in the carriage. Hammers naturally do more posture damage than other weapons in the same size category. For example, a hammer in the Great tier will do more posture damage than a sword in the Colossal tier. All this makes hammers prime for charged R2 posture builds. For this, you're also going to want to pick up the Axe Talisman and Limgrave along with the Physic tier that boost your charged R2 attacks. These items can be found super early here in the Mistwood. Another very handy thing to have for these types of builds is the Ash of War Cragblade. It can be found down here near Redmane Castle. I like to typically come up here, get the guy to sound the horn, which pulls most of the enemies away from where the scarab is. Then simply circle around the back to get to where the scarab is. I find it's useful to try to get to the left side of the scarab, as it likes to scurry over this way near where everyone is fighting. When performed, the Ash of War buries your weapon into the ground, which coats it with rocks. This gives your weapon an attack buff as well as a posture damage buff. It lasts approximately 60 seconds. Some of the enemies that are weak to strike damage in the game are all the miners. Most things that have like a strong scaly hide are also weak to strike damage. The Crystallians are weak to strike damage as well. Charged R2s from hammers do massive posture damage. You can see here it only takes 2 to posture break this enemy. You're utilizing the Axe Talisman as well as the Physic tier that boosts charged R2 damage. You can do massive damage with charged R2s from these weapons. Most skeletons are also weak to strike damage. Here, I'm doubling up on strike damage and holy damage on this +0 Great Stars to make short work of the Bowman. Weapons that do high posture damage can be really useful for controlling the flow of boss fights. Understanding how many attacks or when a boss might posture break allows you to control the flow of the fight. This can allow you for stamina recovery or to even interrupt attacks from even hitting you. Here with this Great Hammer, I know that it typically takes 2 full charged R2s to posture break this Tree Sentinel. Knowing this can allow you to plan ahead. You can get in stamina recovery, heal, or plan for an extra hit before a critical during the posture break. Posture break controlling this Tree Sentinel makes this fight a good bit easier than it might otherwise be. Interestingly enough, those annoying death birds are also weak to strike damage. Here I'm going to double up on two weaknesses, both strike and holy damage. Pairing these weaknesses with headshots does massive damage, even with a +0 hammer. A nice posture break is the icing on the cake. Thanks for hanging out. Please check out some of my other videos for other useful tips.